One of the strengths I have is when I want something, I go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't listen to nobody.
Yeah.
But maybe that also helps because I have a very small circle.
Yeah. You keep a small circle.
Extremely small.
Of trusted people.
Yeah. I don't go out to
Yeah.
go drink up and talk about my dreams. No.
Yeah.
Come and work.
You're
drive
disciplined,
home.
you're self-disciplined.
Extremely. Ruthlessly disciplined.
Okay.
Self-discipline for me, it's basic. Mine
Yeah.
is at a level of ruthlessness.
Right.
Like, it has to borders, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bigger picture, why you doing
Why you're
it,
doing what you're doing.
then it gives you even more reason why you should be more intense.
Tell me more about this ruthlessness. What do you do
So,
as a ruthless self-disciplinarian?
guard your mind.
Yeah?
For me, it's more about that.
The mind.
It's about guarding my mind from every terrorist
Oh,
of distractions.
the terrorist of distractions of where you're going.
Yeah.
Your dreams.
And of my thought process.
Right.
Especially of my thought process. My dream is safe
Yeah?
if I'm ruthless around the circles I keep.
Yeah.
My dream is safe if I'm ruthless about the daily systemic activities that are a must do.
Yeah.
The 44 pages a day is a must do.
That's the voice of my brother and my friend that I love so much, Daniel Choudry. What a name, what a guy, what a man. He says that learning is never an ending process. Every day new things are learned through seminars, through books, through experiences, through friends, through the internet, through the media and many other means. But the question is, how many of us really put on the learning cap into practice and in order to check its worthiness? Our experience shows that not many assimilate these lessons in our daily lives. There are various reasons for this, and many of us either fully engage with work or are occupied with some personal issues. So Daniel is the lead trainer and founding director for Daniel Choudry's Sales Institute, which is www.dcsalesинstitute.co.ug. And he has been in this field for over 13 years now. He's an author of 4 books in the areas of sales and customer experience. He's a chartered technical expert for European Investment Bank sponsored training in 7 African countries. He's conducted training programs for sales and strategy and consultancy, and has also been an inspirational keynote speaker in several corporate companies, including the International Finance Corporation, IFC, DFCU Bank, Equity Bank, Finca Uganda, Tanzania and Malawi, Coca-Cola, MTN Uganda, Great Lakes Safaris, the Parliament of Kenya, the Kenya Justice Commission, Barclays Bank, Steel and Tube Industries, Saddle Paint, Kenya Institute of Management as an external technical expert, Microsoft Kenya, Google, Samsung, UAP, All Mutual, ICEA Group in Uganda and Kenya, Vodafone Tanzania, and several other organizations, colleges, management institutions, hospitality industries, small business owners, and other corporate sectors. He designs training programs that are per industry excellence and industry requirement. He keeps updating his programs so that they can meet the trending needs. I spoke to this man about his life and about daring as a topic, because you realize that there are very many other areas that you can be able to delve in. You want to listen to this conversation, and this conversation, if it blesses you, please subscribe to the episode, to the channel, and share with as many friends as possible. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Life Signatures episodes are brought to you by AfricanBooks.com, which is an online ebook platform that seeks to broadcast the African Christian voice to the world. As such, they have become a hub for African content, connecting African writers and publishers with a global reading audience. Publishing your books on their site is free and easy, with authors having full control over their content and the price they choose to sell at it. I was personally blown away by the concept that AfricanBooks.com is coming up with. Things like no content from their site or their app is going to be run on laptops so that people can easily copy. In other words, your content as a writer is restricted from digital multiplication or digital copying, so you remain intact with your information. And the other concept that I got so blown away with was the fact that in some time to come, in due course, AfricanBooks.com will be starting to announce African Writer of the Year. In other words, there will be competitions in all African countries to figure out who is the best published author. And I also fell in love with the fact that countries can actually compete against each other. We can have African authors going at it after each other, and your book as an author will be reviewed and have some stars and recommended upon that particular platform. The thing is that it's an answer to Amazon.com. You know, with Amazon, what happens? You've got to have an account in the Americas or whatever, or in Europe before you can get paid as an author. But here, the local currency is in play and the local means of getting paid are in play. So to get started, go to AfricanBooks.com as an author or as a publisher, and even as a reader if you wanted to read your African favorite authors. Enjoy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome once again to yet another episode here on Life Signatures Conversations. It's a Wednesday. You know what Wednesday does. It brings us a conversation with one of the people who are exemplifying their life signature on the face of the earth. And today, I made a journey, a small journey actually, into the presence of the sales warrior. Man, when did you come up with that name, Sales Warrior?
So I have been playing around with that name. So the idea of the sales consultancy started back in 2014.
Yeah.
That was when my daughter was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two ideas. I had the sales gladiator and the sales warrior. Personally, being the Luo I am, I wanted to go with the gladiator. But then I consulted a few people in the space of our craft, in inspiring people and training.
Yeah.
And they thought warrior seems to be a little subtle, but still brings out the zest of the fight in me.
Yeah.
But all my life, it's been a fight. It's been a warrior's journey.
Yeah.
So, more specifically now, the warrior name became more prominent from 2018. the sales warrior, social media handles. Now I'm doing the sales warrior. Every time I'm introducing myself, the sales warrior. And somehow I started enjoying actually saying it. The sales warrior, Daniel Choudry, the sales warrior. And it became very exciting. Now, the last 3 years, the named warrior, the sales warrior, became much more meaningful.
Yeah.
Because of the different, life eventualities and situations that I was going through.
Yeah.
Losing my son, losing my marriage, losing my mother. And I had to strike two personalities. There's Daniel Choudry, the gentle, introverted, quiet guy.
The tender warrior.
The tender gentleman who is emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then there's the sales warrior who is so mission focused.
Yeah.
Who takes all this pain and eventualities of life as just one of those tests that life throws at you and see if you've got the mantle to keep carrying on.
Yeah.
So I decided to just be the warrior and then carry on the struggle, the intensity, the consistency to deliver the best version of who I can be, despite the pain that I was going through.
But you're able to speak about it now, isn't it?
And I think it's part of the journey.
Yeah,
it's part of the journey. It's not a full circle yet.
Yeah,
but I think I'm actually pretty impressed that I'm able to talk about it the way I'm talking about it now. So
it shows progress. It shows at least you.
Yeah.
You're not in denial or something of that nature.
Yeah, you bring a very interesting topic there, Coach Lawrence. Living in denial.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that I'm really blessed with is the fact that I am able to face my challenge head on.
Yeah.
Even when every odds is against me, number one, I accept it. But yes, this death has happened. This situation has gotten worse. What I do now is, as a coping mechanism, of course, you try to say, okay, this has happened. It's okay. But it's actually not okay.
Yeah.
I only allow myself to say it's not okay when I'm in my bedroom or with my family, where I can be really vulnerable and I can cry it out. But when I get on the street, I, as a coping mechanism, just adopt the mindset of,
you put on the warrior.
You get things done.
Yeah.
And the more you get things done and you're bringing some meaning in terms of the context of contribution in this marketplace,
there's some kind of momentum in your life.
Yeah, that meaning that I derive from the contribution I make in the sales space, in the team building space, in the customer experience training space. Somehow it gives me a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
And that dopamine rush helps to kill a lot of pain.
Yeah.
That
it's a healing mechanism.
Yeah, that is hidden in there.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, there is little denial to it, but pretty much the pain still exists.
Yeah.
When you look at the entire facet of my life from the wheel of life, which is something you talk very strongly about. I think you've ever talked about it on this show. Life signatures. I'm very strong at the financial front. Yeah. Pursuing it. I'm very strong at the career front. Yeah, pursuing the career front. I'm very strong with the physical front. Now, running also is another coping mechanism. And I really go hard. Saturdays I go 25 kilometers.
Oh, you upgraded? Yes. Because I was telling people you do 15 kilometers.
I do 25 every Saturday. I have a team now that we meet with, and I run to win. I don't run to just make the number. So
yes.
Yeah. So but when you look at other facets of my life, it's still very grey. And I bring this to this show because, sometimes people think you almost, rocket science of sort. You are
superhuman,
unbeatable. You are superhuman. You have everything seems to be working for you. In terms of career, I'm a beast. I know I use that word as just a figure of speech.
Yeah.
I'm a wolf, I'm a warrior. But then when it comes to the emotional side, somehow the struggles of my life has has nimbled in to some of those areas of my life where I could have been better.
But Daniel, one of the things that I observe about you, even as you speak, I already said it. You talk about these things.
Yeah.
There is the idea of having the emotional side of your life messed up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm using messed up in quotes.
Yeah.
And then you keep it inside. You keep it locked in there.
Yeah.
But I observe that you open up. You talk.
Yeah.
Is that who you are as a person, or is this?
Coach, that's an interesting question. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
The last 3 years, I really don't know who Daniel Choudry is in terms of my emotional alignment.
Yeah.
I just know this man whose spirit is larger than life.
Yeah.
Who is brave, who is fearless.
Yeah.
Even within the most insurmountable mountain to climb, I am intense. But I've also noticed in terms of, let's say, relationship, I think I've had some people without necessarily wanting to hurt them, be it at intimate level, be it at a relative level, be it at a friendship level. Like, I developed this wall around me, whereby if you don't want to be around me, it's okay.
Yeah.
I will not cry about it. I will not be, seeking here, seeking there, seeking all over the place.
Yeah.
To find, a sense of, please be here for me.
Yeah.
I need you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it's a good thing, because sometimes people will say all these things about, Daniel, you're not doing this, you're not emotionally sensitive and all of this. And I had to protect Daniel.
Yeah.
And so the person I am, the sales warrior, protects Daniel Choudry.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
And everybody else around, you could easily be a collateral
damage. Yeah.
Without me necessarily
meaning
wanting it
intentionally wanting it that way.
Yes. So
I get what you're saying.
So I'm vulnerable to say that, and probably some of the people that probably my encounters have touched them the right way or not the right way could be listening to this program. I don't do it to hurt nobody.
I see.
Sometimes you just don't have another way to do it. So that's what I could say about that.
Man, your story is deep, because you lost your child.
Yeah. 2-year-old boy.
Every time we would do some coaching together, maybe trainings together, you actually begin your trainings by talking about your family.
Yeah.
And so you're very close to this boy.
Yeah.
You lose your boy. He's there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's his picture.
You lose your boy. You lose your marriage.
Yeah.
Then you lose your mama.
Yeah. My mother got COVID from me.
What?
Mm-hmm. And I have to deal with that for the rest of my life.
Hey, you guy.
Mm-hmm. But
in a space of how many years?
2
This
years?
is 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, okay, fine. Let's just park that for a minute.
No, it's all good. I will deal with it later.
Yeah.
Right now in the show, I'm not gonna get teary. Right now,
let's park that for a minute, because I want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And this question is actually going to come from my observation. I've done life with you.
Yeah.
I can't remember from when, but I have seen.
I think back in 2011.
I have seen some kind of metamorphosis of Daniel Choudry.
Yes.
The very first encounter, I think you used to follow me before we met physically.
Yes.
The very first encounter we had was at Kabira.
Yes.
Not Kabira. It was
Wall of Inspiration.
It was the launch of someone's book at that hotel near Lugogo.
Is it Nanjing?
No. The hotel near Lugogo, near Forest Mall, just on the junction. When you get from Kololo and you just get into the junction of
Katikati.
Katikati, yes.
Katikati.
You are hosting a book launch for someone. I don't know.
I don't remember. But
I
remember. Yes, I remember the experience.
Yes.
I don't know.
That's the first time I saw you physically. Yeah. And then I traveled. I went to Ghana. I came back.
Yeah.
But the thing is, one of the reasons as to why I wanted to talk to you on this show is you exude through and through.
Yeah.
the traits of someone who is daring.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you this question because you have a history of being a warrior, a child warrior.
Yeah.
Is this trait for daring a gene for you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it something you picked up as you're growing up? Is it something that has been necessitated by life?
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you say about that?
So Coach, and listeners on this show. So in 1999, I was abducted by LRA on the 26th
Lord's
of
Resistance
February.
Army.
Yes, the Kony rebels in northern Uganda, in Kitgum. Why was I abducted? Because I was going to the farm in the morning, early, at about 4 a.m. My task was to wake up early and go cut down trees from the farm that will be worked on. We do communal farming in northern Uganda, so I was going to the farm, and my task was to cut down the trees up to 6, 7 a.m., then come back home and wash my leg and go to school. My grandfather was a great subsistence farmer. We never lacked food. Maybe money-wise we were not having that, but we had food. And my mom was not around. My mom had gone to study to be a nurse. Now, in the early years, I called my mother auntie.
You didn't know?
I think, yes, because I knew my grandpa and my grandma were my real parents. So when I was abducted, still I didn't know the history of who Daniel Choudry was properly. And I called mom auntie. So by God's grace, when I came back from the war, when I was saved by the UPDF, then so many things started unraveling. And then I was told the person I've been calling my auntie,
his mom,
is my mom. And the question is, who is my father? And so I was told about my father. So in the district where I come from, Kitgum, Lamour now, my father's people, they're very powerful people. They were really powerful people during Obote one regime.
Powerful in terms of authority, leadership, and also
my
money.
great-grandfather was a minister in the government, I think, working at the highest level. I think a commissioner or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have land, they have resources, they have boreholes, many, they have gineries. And so when Museveni took over power in the 80s, practically 86 of course, then 87, they went to exile. The entire Luchira family. It was my dad's side. So I was told about my father and how he deserted my mom when she conceived, and my mom took the pregnancy there and they kicked her out, said my mom was not worth being
their class.
Their class. She's a villager, she's a poor person. How would my father accept that? So that really hurt me.
To today.
Yes. And then I remembered everything that happened with the LRA war and me being a victim the way I was. And everything that happened. So I made a promise that I'm going to prove a point to my father and to everybody else that I was good enough. I was good enough to be loved. I was good enough to be appreciated. I was good enough to be paid through school. And that was the day when I made a decision that I was going to be somebody, and I was going to be somebody very powerful. I still hold that today. And talking about daringness through the show, I'll tell you some of the things that I have in mind. I'm not afraid to talk about my future and the things I want in my future. So from that time, I have been extremely aggressive, extremely daring, fearless. Because, mind you, while in the bush, I saw the worst of human beings. In terms
which is a story like a book in itself.
Of what the human being can do to another. And how, I can't fathom the idea that a human being could cook a fellow human being in a pot.
I
saw that. Chop the limbs and pack them in a pot and put them on fire. And
as in you saw that repeatedly.
And you have to see, especially for us the children, it was part of the brainwashing mechanism they
force you to see it.
And you don't have to shed a tear. So some of these experiences, at the time, there were huge traumas. But because of who I am now in my adult life, I am a seeker of knowledge. I am a student of life.
You're ravenous, by the way, in gobbling knowledge.
And now I read a lot. Every day my average is 44 pages of any given book. And I'm really scavenging and going hard on seeking knowledge. Knowledge to, number one, improve my thought process about some of the things that I need to do, or some of the things I struggle with. But also knowledge in terms of putting some kind of reinforcements around my heart to be brave, to be strong, to be able to deal with life eventualities. So the story of me being daring was from the fact that I wanted to prove a point to my father that I was good enough.
You basically, it's like you're presented with a particular story that says this is who you are.
Yes.
You are a reject.
Yeah.
You are an abandoned kid.
And I'm like,
you never amount to anything.
Yeah.
And then you say no.
Yeah, and I was an altar boy back at church.
Yeah.
And one of the priests there, who I really am thankful to, Father, Luciano Fulvi Spalletti, who actually helped me also a bit through my O-level schools, pay me when there was a bit of challenge with school fees. He said I'm special.
Yeah.
And I'm a foundational rock, according to the Bible. And that man gave me some level of belief.
Whoa.
I am special, and I'm going to do special things in life.
He spoke that into your life.
That into my life.
Awesome.
And I believed him, because every time I was with the rest of the boys at college and we're doing some work, I was always doing more. Every time I'm with the collections of the boys at college, I'm always the one who's making everybody happy, crack a few jokes and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And like, my presence put people at ease.
Yeah.
That's what it tells me.
Yeah.
And that's special.
Yeah.
And I should consider that my superpower.
Whoa. And
for me, that what he said there was so important. But then, mind you, if I, Coach, you've listened to my story for quite some time now. Mind you, in 1996, when I was in P4, there was another teacher who talked about the story of Kampala.
Yes.
And
he was painting a picture of a capital city of Uganda.
You have to give it
to the kids who have never seen it, never heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, that was also another story. That story kept me alive in the bush. Because
really,
I told God I don't want to die.
So you were abducted when you already started school.
Yeah.
Right.
I was in P6.
Okay.
I was in P6. So I got the story in P4 of Kampala.
Yeah.
So I was telling God I don't want to die before I see Kampala. The idea of Kampala was such a huge dream.
He painted a vision for you.
Yes. Like, I became obsessed with that picture, with that vision. And nothing was going to stop me from getting the first grade in P7. I was religiously disciplined in coming to school early in the morning and standing in front of the assembly. I was religiously disciplined to clean the compound meticulously the way he said we should clean it. I was religiously disciplined in class when a teacher asked a question, because they said every time a teacher asks a question, put your hand up.
Yeah.
And even if you do not know the answer will come. And I kept on raising my hand in class, even when I did not know the answer. I was a laughing stock of a lot of my friends in school. But I never took it as a shame or something. They used to call me Waizeka and all the sort of names.
What is Waizeka?
So in Luo, actually, that's Waizeka is like, I think, a slang that people have devised.
Yeah.
Like a snob who just a wannabe. He's always a show off. A show off. I think that's the better description. Like, I don't shut my mandibles, they used to say. I'm like, yeah. But interestingly, from that story of teacher Anthony Opua of Kampala, from P4 up to university, whoever studied with me, they know who Daniel Choudry is. But I don't know them. And that's from the context that I could put my hands up and speak. And you could hate me for all you care. But now, you remember me the moment you see me. Hey, Daniel, Choudry, is that you? And I'm like, okay, so who is this? Like, we studied together back in primary. We studied together back in secondary. We studied together back at the university. And
So it wasn't like they remember you because you're this sharp,
No,
genius, intelligent
no,
guy.
I was
You're just a guy who
very spoken,
outspoken, and
yes.
you curious to know, want to learn, want to be involved. You're basically an active child.
Yes, that's the word, an active child.
Yeah.
Who never wanted to keep quiet and just
Yeah.
pass by classes.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be a part of the learning.
Yeah.
I wanted to take part in my learning.
Yeah.
Ask questions, answer sometimes to just understand that I'm not so stupid.
Right.
Because there are a lot of times when I gave the answers and they were right.
Yeah.
And teacher said, that is correct. Thank you,
Right.
Daniel. And everybody, let's
It
clap
feels-
for Daniel.
it feels
and that
good.
feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I think, Coach, one of the things that, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm driven by the dopamine rush of contribution.
I like it. Tony Robbins tells us that there are 6 human psychological needs.
Yeah.
And one of them is contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I know I'm making a contribution
Yeah.
and people are happy with that contribution, it gives me a certain sense of meaning that it's a fresh breath of air. Like I don't know whether the people who are listening to this program get it.
Yeah.
Like even when I do my training now,
Yeah.
and somebody comes after the training like, Daniel,
Yeah.
you touched my life.
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
what you did there.
Yeah.
Like I take this, like it just cleanses my entire being.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like,
Yeah.
your life
It
matters.
matters.
Yeah,
it means something. Yeah.
And for me, that's along the journey of course trying to prove a point to my father. The idea that I could make a contribution, the idea that I was smart, and the teachers appreciated my line of thinking. At some point, I wanted every answer I give should be the right answer.
Mhm.
So I could pay attention in class. I wasn't the smartest in class, but I wanted to give an answer that the teacher would say that is wrong. I didn't want the teacher to say that is wrong. I wanted the teacher to say
That
you're
is
right.
correct. Yeah.
So I gained pleasure in that, in being right, in what the teachers were saying. But of course, I also gained pleasure in being controversial along the journey.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make it a bit hard on the teachers too. I wanted to know that you've researched what you're teaching us. So from senior 5 onwards, I was a little bit of a kinky, sleazy child in class.
Yeah.
And
You will take teachers on.
Yes, I will ask you questions and I need an answer. And if I'm not convinced, we should have an interchange.
Yeah.
Like a back and forth is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then the teacher sometimes silences you.
Yeah.
Sometimes some of them are really amazing and they allow that.
In progressive systems,
Yeah.
it's actually allowed. It's
Yeah.
allowed for a kid to challenge the status quo, to challenge whatever it is. And that's how they learn.
Yeah.
But in systems where there is authoritarian, they shut you up, they shut you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that the system in our country? It's more authoritarian.
Yeah.
So you ask me, where did this bravery and everything come from?
Yeah.
It came from, number one, the story of my Kampala. One day I'll go to Kampala. And then it came from number 2, to prove a point to my father that I was good enough.
I
And to
always
prove a point.
thought that you being, I don't know, Daniel,
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong, but I'm thinking sometimes it could be benefits of trauma, benefits of seeing, as in, I
Does it
normally tell
exist?
people that when you see when you are shot at,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you don't die.
Yeah.
I think the way you approach life from that moment on is a bit different.
Yeah.
Isn't
No,
it? true?
totally.
Yeah?
There are those near-death experiences.
You had several of those.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Even your escape, if I get my facts correct,
I was shot.
You ran for it.
Yes, I was shot.
And then you were shot, and
Yeah.
they thought you died.
Yeah.
They left you
They
for
left
dead.
me for dead.
So I've always said, because let me tell you this, my
Yeah.
friend. If you haven't been told,
Yeah.
you shine, you make things happen.
Thank you.
You accelerate stuff. Things that could take 5 years, Daniel
Yeah.
does them in 1 year.
That means a lot. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
I've always thought that maybe this guy has been injected by that near-death experience aftermath, and maybe that's what is pushing him. Is it part? Do you feel it contributes a bit to your daring in life?
currently I'm reading a book by Walter Isaacson.
About who?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yeah. It's a very wonderful writer.
Yes, and there was something I've been thinking about in my past, in my, several months or years back, that maybe I wouldn't stay on earth for so long. But I wanted the small time God would give me to be meaningful and impactful. And I've read my experience with the truth, Mahatma Gandhi, Long Walk to Freedom, and Nelson Mandela, The Act of Grace, Maria Teresa. I've read a little bit of the Maxim X. I've read a bit of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and they had impact in the early years, real impact.
Yeah.
So in my life, I structured my life in something called the life budget.
Okay.
Like you do your own daily budget on, how you spend money.
Yeah.
But I also did a life budget on how I spend the years in my life.
Yeah.
And there are things I would wish to have achieved by 30.
Yeah.
I have achieved a lot by then. But there are also some things I didn't achieve. There are things I want to achieve by 35. So I put my life in a 5-year differentials. That every 5 years there's certain must do's, not should do's, must do's, non-negotiables. And I think that kind of it draws a very clear path.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a lot of time to give excuses and to be complacent.
Yeah.
And every 5 years there are 5 things I must achieve. Every 5 years, 5 things. I'm 34 now. In September, I'll be 35.
Yeah. By 35, what did you want to achieve?
By 35, so at a financial level, I wanted to have about 50 rentals. As I speak now, I have 22 plus 4.
That is 26.
So I have 26. I don't think by this September I would have achieved it, but the rest of it. But I have gone really close.
You've come close to the goal.
Yes. At a family level, I wanted to have my 4 children happily married, and that one has not gone according to script. Yeah.
You can work on it still.
It's a struggle. I had 2 kids, of course, and I lost one, lost the marriage, and now getting back into marriage has been the most difficult experience of my life. Like, I'm not interested. You have feelings, but when it's getting too serious,
you draw back.
Like, no, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
And then
when you had an office at Nasa Road, remember that office?
Yes,
Nasa
that was
Road?
the first time I had an office. Yeah.
Yeah. You used to have a photo.
Yeah.
Maybe remind you. Yeah, there it is.
There
it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, DC Towers.
A photo of DC Towers.
Yeah.
How many floors is DC Towers?
47. The double twin towers, there's 17. So I was blessed. 2018, I've been able to finish to pay for the land. I have some nice piece of real estate.
Before you can even go there, the listeners have no clue what we're talking about. So this is a goal.
Yeah.
This is a dare.
Yeah, this is
You're building Daniel Choudry Towers or DC Towers.
DC Towers.
You're building DC Towers,
by 2035.
which is by 2035.
It has to stand.
It is how many floors are these?
47
floors.
Double twin towers.
Where are you building it?
Kasanje on Entebbe Road.
On Entebbe Road. Yeah, you told me about Entebbe Road.
Yes.
And the plans are underway.
The plans are done. Actually, when
this thing, how old is this? Because I saw it in your first office over there.
So this plan has been rolling for a bit now, or 7 years now, I think.
And you've placed it prominently there so that
I can see it every day.
You see it every day.
Yes, and the 3D architectural design, I have it just above my bed.
Yeah,
in my bedroom. So it's something I must achieve. It's not a should. It's a must. It's just about the time. And I'm doing a lot every day. Every money I make, there's some portion of that money that goes to a certain bank account.
towards it.
Yes, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So my life budget, I was telling you, it stretches until when I'm 75.
Yeah.
That's with faith.
Okay.
When I get to 75, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm ready to go. I'm done. I'm ready to go. So anything God give me after that,
bonus.
It's bonus, and I'll embrace it. But if He could give me 75, I would create some shift on this earth, and I know it for a fact. And when you talk about daring, now there's a dare for you there. Yeah. But 2031, I'll be an MP of my town, of my district.
What's the name of the district?
Kitgum district.
Kitgum.
It's going to be Kitgum municipality. I'll be an MP. I'm already doing something about it now.
You're laying some groundwork.
Yeah, and whoever is listening, if you're going to try to compete with me in 2031, you lose. And that's just a fact. No matter who you are, you lose. 2051.
You should see his face. He's serious.
2051, I want to run for the office of the presidency
in
of
Uganda.
My country. Yes. In Uganda here.
2051.
Whether I win or I don't win, I don't really
You're
care.
You're gonna run. You're gonna make a run for it.
Yes.
You're gonna present yourself.
Yes.
So Daniel, are you working towards being presidential?
Yes. Every day.
Yeah.
And for me, being presidential is first of all take care of your immediate financial need. You don't go into office of politics to seek for money. You go to office of politics for leadership, to serve, to be a servant leader, to change the constitution for the better, to legislate, to help people who don't yet have that level of exposure that you've got.
Create systems, create structures, facilitate growth for people.
I feel like I'm a decent human being at heart. I know people say politics does corrupt, but no, it doesn't. It just, you need to create.
Who is your role model in terms of presidency? Worldwide, that is.
That's a good question. I would say Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
But I would also say Nelson Mandela not because of how presidential he was, but because he was a rebel like me.
Yeah. By the way, that guy, you've read Long to Freedom. He was a serious hothead.
Yeah, he was a rebel.
Yeah.
And he killed people at some point. And then somehow the 27 years of Nirvana in the prison, I don't know what happened to him in the prison. I've tried to read all the literature that I could get. But, for someone to appreciate the blossoming of a flower and clean it every morning is a way of keeping his mind busy. That's incredible. So in terms of presidency, I would say Nelson Mandela for sure. Yeah. No, I wouldn't say anybody else. I think I'll go for Nelson Mandela. Yeah.
What I'm learning from you, my friend, is that
I don't want to be in prison for 27 years. Let's get that clear. So.
Yeah. But you and I know that there is a price to pay for some of these things that you're daring to do.
Yeah.
So you're sprucing yourself up, you're preparing yourself to be as presidential as possible.
And I'm not just preparing myself, I'm preparing the people around me.
Yeah, you're building a core team.
Yeah, because you see, if you want to be a person of such impact, even at MP level, you need to have
networks.
Yes, you need to have a pool of people who think alike, who are not just thinking
who are
about
crazier than you sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for me, the ecosystem of the friendship is critical.
Yeah.
Are you helping them? Are you improving them? So in the last election, I personally helped 5 people become MPs.
Oh.
I spoke in their elections. I did training for the women entrepreneurs, youth entrepreneurs, this and that. Printed some posters for some of them. Went on radio talk shows for some of them. I'll just not mention their names, but they know themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, that's part of preparation. They're already in the house. I get some information sometimes about the state of our country and why things are happening the way they're happening. And that also helps me to, realign and process information and ask why certain decisions were made the way they were made from a human perspective, but also from ineptitude of leadership or excellence of leadership.
I can say that I have seen you used to be on social media a lot. And you've scaled down on that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you do post, it's not against the government. It's measured. It's mature.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's part of the process.
It is part of the process, I would say. Yeah, it is part of the process.
Okay.
Yeah, don't just be
spitting fire.
Yeah, sometimes
without thinking.
And I'm not the kind of person who say NRM is bad or opposition is bad.
I come from the school of thought that there are very many angels in NRM.
Yeah.
There are very many angels in NUP, in ANT, as in humanly possible. If you look at the ecosystems, you cannot say that everyone in NRM being yellow is this, and then everyone in ANT is this. No, you can find a mixture actually.
Not quite a lot.
Yeah,
there's some very incredible people in both sides of the L.
Yeah, so you don't like burn relationships because of colors. Yeah, you forge more.
Yeah.
So now.
And life is not all perfection.
Exactly.
All of us who are throwing a stone.
Yeah.
We're not perfect.
Yeah.
But again, if you could just have a certain blueprint of doing something that makes your country better, I think that should be, for me, my approach to leadership is human first.
Yeah.
I'm privileged to be someone who can live a middle class life that the president is talking about. But I'm not aloof or oblivious about the suffering of the people I go to Kitgum and I see every single day. And having that contrast and trying to see how you can be able to teach people how to fish.
So the exposure that you've got through your daring, you're now seeing other people who are actually where you used to be, right?
Yeah.
Your school fees was paid by someone who's not even your relative.
No.
Isn't it?
No.
Most of it.
Yeah, my mom helped.
Your mom helped a bit.
Yeah.
University, you paid yourself,
yeah.
And so on.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the Daniel Choudry Training Institute.
Yeah.
For one, unless I have not done my research correctly, I don't think there is such kind of an institute by an individual in Uganda, in Kenya,
in Tanzania, actually in Eastern
Central Africa and South Africa. There isn't someone who has set themselves apart for a particular niche in life and be the market leader, so to speak, in that particular area.
Yeah.
What necessitated you to? I mean, didn't you weren't you scared? This thing is gonna suppose it fails, because you are how many floor? Are you occupying one floor?
Yeah.
I mean,
half of the floor.
Half of the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, coach, I think talking about the topic of today, daring. I think one of my biggest daring pursuit, is the Cells Institute.
Yeah.
The Daniel Choudry Cells Institute. Let me say that for emphasis. First and foremost, it's crazy to put your name as the name of the institution that you begin. Some people say that's foolhardy. Some people say that's vanity. Some people say all sort of things. Some people say you're really brave. You have to be exceptional. And I tend to enroll to the school of thought that my name being on the institute makes me want to be exceptional. So I don't leave any room for slacking. And then people say, he's not even good enough. And then, unfortunately, that affects the entire, brand of the institution. Now, I've been a good salesman, no doubt about it. I'm a fantastic salesman in terms of conversation. I don't think sales is hawking on the street. I think sales is just having an insightful conversation about people's needs and making sure that you have the right, solution that match their need. And if you don't, you also be sincere with them. So when I started the institute back 4 years ago, I will be honest with you, I didn't have a clear idea of how it was going to go.
Yeah. I remember you asking me back and forth sometime.
Yes. So the content weren't clear.
Yeah.
They are not 100% clear now.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that the space of sales has been whiplash, if I could use that word, with a lot of negativity, a lot of belief that sales is for losers, and for people who have tried to look for a desk job, 8 to 5, and they fail.
Yeah.
And for me, that's not what sales is. For me, sales more is about creating opportunities.
Yeah.
Sales is about providing for people's needs. Sales is the marketplace language, pretty much, for anybody who wants to, provide something of value to the marketplace.
Yeah.
So, and when you look at it from the financial aspect of it, the wealthiest people on earth, they're salespeople. I mean, they talk about the oracle of Steve Jobs and Apple computers and Apple, Incorporated. Steve Wozniak being, the brain behind the softwares and everything. And Steve being the marketing giant, the salesman, in terms of his conversation, he was just meticulous. So you go to Wall Street, the best that sells. You go to real estate, the best that sells people. So I find people not having the right mindset around what sales is.
Yeah.
And especially this side of the world.
Yeah.
In the developed countries, people appreciate sales people a lot.
Yeah.
And the way the people there also sell is with finesse, is with skill. And they learn and they do better. But here people just say, okay, I failed to find a job as in procurement or in accounts. I think this bank is recruiting someone in sales. Let me just go and try my luck. And then people don't go with the passion and the drive to sell. I always tell people, sales works around these three things.
Yeah.
The right attitude, the right intensity, the right consistency. You need to have the right attitude towards human conversation. You need to have the right intensity towards the engagement.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent with your engagement. But at the same time, you have to be very knowledgeable, not just about the subject matter of the product that you sell, but also in terms of just conversational depth, soft skills, identity, kind of interactions. Somebody is trying to weigh you up. Do I like this person, the way they're engaging me, and now that we're talking to each other? So sales is a game of likability. I gotta like your flow of thoughts. I gotta like your demeanor, your gestures, and everything.
Rapport is also
rapport-wise, connection. You have to convince me that spending time with you is a good usage of time.
Yeah.
And for me, I came up with a mandate. I want to make sales sexy. If I could use that as an analogy of description. I want people to love sales as a career option, as a profession of incredible people, of smart people. And the last 4 years now, I've noticed, I was checking the statistics, we have been able to train 2,400 people. And that's incredible. That's really good. That's directly through the certificate programs. But if you look at the different corporate companies we've worked with, we have trained over, 50,000 people already.
Yeah.
And that's a big testament to what I stand for, that sales actually is a big subject that we should take seriously. Why I think I'm really daring is the fact that I'm becoming the preacher. I'm the ambassador of the subject sales.
Yeah. And
when I call myself the sales warrior, anything I'm doing sales, I decided to be very niche specific.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a beautiful thing for me. It gives me so much fulfillment. It gives me so much meaning. But at the same time, now I've become really good at the aspect of disseminating knowledge about it every single day. Because in a month I read about 4 books, and 2 of them are in sales.
Sales, exactly.
And I'm trying to broaden my perspective. Now I'm getting international, trainings. Did something in Kenya recently. Did something in Zimbabwe. Now this Fortune 500 companies like FedEx now entrusting me with the work. And then for me, it's just a testament of the consistency in my intensity, in making the world know that sales is a different subject matter from marketing. from branding, from just human capital development, and being the champion of this cause. It gives me so much satisfaction.
Weren't you scared when you started the institute?
Yeah, a lot. And then, there were a lot of naysayers.
Of course.
Why is that? Who does that? You're not going to succeed. It's not good.
How many times have you encountered naysayers? Because you're a daring person.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Did you have any naysayers on this one?
I still do. They
still have the naysayers who are saying you can't build 47
But a lot
crores.
of people now see the kind of trajectory my career is taking.
Yeah, and they're starting to...
They're like, this guy is
come
for real.
on board. Yeah.
Like, this guy is for real.
Yeah.
Of course, that all those doubting Thomases.
Yeah.
One of the strengths I have is when I want something, I go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't listen to nobody.
Yeah.
But maybe that also helps because I have a very small circle.
Yeah. You keep a small circle.
Extremely small.
Of trusted people.
Yeah. I don't go out to go drink up and talk about my dreams now.
Yeah.
Come and work.
You're disciplined, you're self-disciplined.
Extremely. Ruthlessly disciplined.
Okay.
Self-discipline for me, it's basic. Mine is at a level of ruthlessness.
Right.
Like, it has the borders, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But when you look at the bigger picture of why you're doing
what you're doing,
then it gives you even more reason why you should be more intense.
Tell me more about this ruthlessness. What do you do as a ruthless self-disciplinarian?
Guard your mind.
Yeah?
For me, it's more about that.
The mind.
It's about guarding my mind from every terrorist of distractions.
The terrorist of distractions of where you're going.
Yeah.
Your dreams.
And of my thought process.
Right.
Especially of my thought process. My dream is safe.
Yeah.
If I'm ruthless around the circles of kid.
Yeah.
My dream is safe if I'm ruthless about the daily systemic activities that are a must do.
Yeah.
The 44 pages a day is a must do.
Yeah.
The phone calls I have to make here, 10, 15 phone calls a day to look for business, is a must do.
So you have very serious non-negotiables.
They are successful
daily
routines.
Non-negotiables.
Yes, they're success routines.
Yeah.
The Wednesday morning runs or evening runs, they are must do's. The Saturday 25 kilometers run is becoming a must do. The Sunday 10 kilometers run is a must do. The walk with my daughter on Sunday is a must do.
Come rain, come shine.
Yeah,
whether you're feeling it or you don't feel it.
I have to do it.
Right.
And like for you, churning this message out to the world is becoming a must.
Yeah, daily.
Yeah, so for me, those must-dos, they're systemic. I'm not about goals. I'm more about systems.
Let me tell you something, Daniel. There's a time my family and I were traveling to, I think we're going to Kenya.
Yeah.
And so from Kampala, it must have been on a Saturday, I can't remember. So from Namamve toward Jinja, we started listening to Power FM. And we switched on Power FM. They were interviewing, guess who? The sales warrior.
Interesting. That must have been with Joel Sanyonyi.
Yes, and you know what you... Because I'm raising that to say that you're very authentic.
Yeah.
Because what you said then is exactly what you're saying now.
Yeah.
You say that you don't do goals.
No.
Right? What do you do instead of goals? You do systems.
I do systems that helps me achieve goals.
Yeah.
I don't look at the goals. I look at the systems.
So systems are the most important things.
Yes.
If you do systems,
things you have to do.
The goals will take care of themselves.
Put them, structure the things you must do into a system.
Yeah.
Be systemic with activities. Now,
so you have
I don't have goals. I do. I have DC Towers.
Yes,
it's
a goal.
Goal,
but you can't do it today. So the system that is going to deliver it finally at the end of the day.
This year, I told myself I'm going to do a convention in Dubai.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take many people from here to go.
Just hold that thought.
Yeah.
Before we can even go there.
Yeah.
Few years ago, before COVID.
Yeah.
Must have been 2016, 2017.
Yes.
You said you're going to do a sales conference in Kampala, one of its kind, convention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did.
And I saw you moving from one organization to another, I sponsored some people to come for that convention.
Yes, you did.
You guy.
Yeah.
Where did that idea come from?
800 people showed up.
800 people.
And next year in February, I'm going to be hosting 1,500 people in Kampala Serena. And You know how I got a hall for free? I went and gave a training to Serena recently. Kampala Serena. I talked with Alan. I'm the best sales warrior on the continent, and if I'm not training your people, then your people are slacking.
You're missing.
So it's just like, come and give us 1 hour, and I gave her 1 hour. And like, can you train us a long time? I'm like, okay, give me the conference facility with everything in it for free. Just like, we can work it out. Let me first have a chat. So in February, on the 26th of February next year, I'm putting another Sales Warriors convention, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to interview the president on the Warriors mindset.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
That guy is a warrior.
He's a warrior. We can hate his politics, but you cannot hate the
that
person.
Guy is a warrior.
Yes.
If you listen to very many people talk about the president, especially those ones who have gone to meet him.
Yeah.
You've gone to meet him before,
yes, I have.
right?
Yeah, 2 times.
Do you know most people say something very, very intriguing? That this guy, they met him at 3.
Yeah. I met him at 3 too.
3 a.m.
Yes.
That's a sales, and that's a warrior's mind.
No, I need that interview I'll do with the president to be one of those interviews who will play for a long time, even after he's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm preparing myself for it. It's going to be an exciting thing.
That's a dare.
You already.
That's a dare.
Yeah. So I was telling you about the Dubai event.
So we talked about the one that you did in Kampala.
Yeah, the Sales Warriors.
It was a dare also.
It was a dare.
It was a dare.
It was
I remember, because nobody has done something of that nature,
no.
Isn't it?
No.
I don't think there is any individual. It's not like it's easy for organizations to do it.
That.
But this was Daniel.
Yes.
The Sales Institute hadn't even grown.
The village boy from Kidman.
Yes, this was Daniel bringing 800 people in a convention.
Yeah.
And you brought a guy, a
from
crazy
Nigeria.
guy from Nigeria called. Hey.
Yeah. Igbosan.
Yeah.
Sinoncho is a good guy. He's a good friend. I'm doing something with him, I think, in May next year.
Yeah.
In Nigeria. I'm also now building strategic networks.
Right.
So who got me to Zimbabwe? A friend of mine called Taco.
Yeah.
David. So Taco is the radio host in one of the biggest radio stations in Zimbabwe called ZFM.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
So we met with Taco through a mutual friend called Elise. Elise is Dutch.
Mm.
And Elise said, Daniel, you have such a striking personality with Taco.
Mm.
And you guys, you gotta meet.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay. So I started, they shared the numbers, we started chatting a little bit. And then I told him, I'm coming to Zim. It's like, you're kidding. I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm like, I'm coming to see you.
It was another day?
Yeah, it was another day. So it's like, are you for real? I'm like, I'm going to book the ticket and I'll show you the details. It's like, I will not believe you until you share with me the details. So the next day I shared with him my ticket, my flight details. Interestingly, I had booked a flight with Rwanda Air.
Yeah.
And on a Sunday, in my mind, I thought my flight was at 7 p.m. No, at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
I didn't know my flight was at 6 a.m.
Oh.
So I slept totally knowing that my flight is in the evening.
Yeah.
So when I checked my
ticket,
and then I went online to Rwanda Air to just check in online. I'm like, you were no show. That's what they were telling me. You were no show. Your flight was only this morning. Now I had to robustly look for the next available flight. And that just shows you the level of the seriousness that I had to go to Zim. And the next available flight was KQ, which I don't like.
Which is higher in price, by the way.
They ever lost my
your
bag.
Luggage, yeah.
Yes, and then they're also high in price, are very high. So I got a flight for, I think, 8 p.m. that evening. I'm like, okay, Taco, some mismatch, but I'm coming. So I went. So he hosted me in ZFM. I did a great job.
Yeah.
Guess who was listening? The MD of FedEx, where he also works. David also worked there, Taco. So he asked Taco.
You had no idea about FedEx?
No.
At all?
No. So
you just jumped on a plane?
Yesterday.
On a whim?
Yes, on a whim.
And you never met a guy?
No. Never met him.
Just introduce in passing. If it was Lawrence would say, one day we'll talk.
like our good friend Sterling was shocked that I did because I met him.
But the warrior, you go.
Yeah.
And now you go, and doors are now starting to open because of the dare.
Yes. So now the MD calls Taco and like, can you bring this guy to talk to our staff? I'm like, okay, no problem. And I tore the place apart. I did a powerful presentation. Now I'm doing a training for them again on 15 to 19th of August because of that talk. And that talk now is worth a few dollars. No, not few, a bit of dollars.
Yeah, a bit of dollars. That's FedEx we're talking about.
And then immediately the radio where Taco works asked if I could do a conference in Zim. I'm like, yes, we can do a conference. And they're like, can we sponsor for you the radio, the media, the newspaper? They also have a TV station. I'm like, okay, you can do that. And then like, which venue can we work with? Taco, I had a friend he studied with, because Taco is a son of a minister, a former minister in Mugabe's government. Mm-hmm. His father is a general. He's a general in Zimbabwe. So Taco had a friend who he studied with, whose father has the biggest convention center in Zimbabwe called the Venue.
The Venue in Harare.
Yes, in Harare. So he said, let's go to my friend, and we talked to him about the venue. We went there, and the guy just totally fell in love with me. He said, can you also give a few talk to my staff? I'm like, no problem. He's like, dude, you're good. You're really good. I love your vibes. I'm like, thank you so much. So let's do something bigger. And that's how we were able to book the 8th of November convention in Harare. So isn't that daring?
It's because I either texted you or I called you, and it happened to be the very day that you're going, that particular day.
Yes.
I didn't know the background of the story.
Interestingly, it was
the fact is that you didn't go there for you. Actually, do you know what you told me?
Yeah.
You told me I'm going to. In fact, you did not tell me you're going to talk to your friend.
Yeah.
You're saying you're going to look for business in Harare.
Yes.
How about that for a day? That's what you said.
Sterling was really amazed that I could do that.
Sterling's our mutual friend.
Yes, our mutual friend.
Yeah.
So daring should be the norm, not the exception. So still I did dare back in Dubai. I think most likely they're going to confirm it at the end of this month. I took about 9 people came with me for this convention. I went. We did, of course, the Dubai Expo and everything. I moved into the Bank of Iran, and I asked to talk to the MD, and they allowed me. And I told him I'm the best sales consultant in Africa, and I showed him a copy of my book, and I want to talk to your sales team. He's like, my sales team is actually just here. If you want to talk to them now, I can put them together into them, and we see. I'm like, okay. So I gave a talk there. Now that talk has opened doors for further training. We're just confirming dates now. We're going to be training the Bank of Iran in Dubai, in Qatar, in Doha, in Riyadh, and that was also because of a dare. I just went in there. I'm like, I want to talk to your salespeople. I think one of the things that I am is I'm fearless, and that's a gift. Like I'm not afraid of scorn. I'm not afraid of somebody
of shame, embarrassment.
No, I'm not ashamed.
Even if it happens, no big deal. No price you're willing to pay.
Yes, and that's one of those conduit for daring. If you want to be daring, then take fear out of the equation.
Just take embarrassment and shame out of the equation. Pay the price. It's the same thing you're doing as a kid, raising your hand when you don't know the answer.
Yes.
Right. Daniel, let's mentor some people into daring.
Yeah.
If you are a mentor for people to daring, before you can even mentor some people.
Yeah.
You're telling me earlier on about your core team. You have a small group of people that people actually, some of them are better than you.
Yeah.
And they challenge you and so on.
Yeah, a lot of them.
How did you get into the circle of Amos Wekesa? Because you guys never met and so on.
Actually,
and he's now your buddy.
Yeah, he's my buddy.
You ran together.
We have to go run on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, me and Amos, we met through my mentor, Rogers Matama. So Rogers Matama is a doctor now, PhD doctor at Makerere University Business School. So he introduced us.
Yeah.
So Roger is Afghans. I think he has a background of America and Uganda. And Amos's wife is American. So we met in a family function. And Amos also said the same thing. There's something special about you.
Oh.
He did say that. And
there's something I've got to tell you.
Yeah.
I call it the law of second mention. That is something Lawrence formulated.
Yeah.
It means that if two people, totally separate, never met each other,
before,
tell you the very same thing,
it
is the divine speaking to you.
Wow. Okay, that got me rattled there. Gives me chills.
Yeah. It is the divine speaking to you.
Yeah, so with Amos, we struck like that. And then he asked me if I could work for him. But at the time I was working with my mentor.
Yeah.
I'm like, right now I'm working with Roger, and I can't do that. Like, okay, just keep in touch. And we kept in touch. And then later on he asked me, because he used to see me post on Facebook my running. So he asked me if he could run with me. I'm like, are you for real? Of course, like, there's that big Amos, the tourism guy.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I was very meek about it. I was like, this guy want to run with me. Like, what does he want? So he's like, can I come to Nambole and then we do run together? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was kidding.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
So he came. We ran inside the stadium. We did 15 laps that day.
Whoa.
And he's like, I enjoy running with you. I'm coming. Can we do it again tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, no problem. The next day we did 20 laps.
Whoa.
He's like, this is good. I need consistency. Can we do the next day? I'm like, okay.
But so, he's good.
Yes. So we did 25 laps the next day. Yeah. So it's like, now this is really good. Can we continue running together?
Whoa.
I'm like, yeah, we can. So I now start going to run with him in Mutungu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since then we have really been buddies.
Yeah.
He mentors me now in terms of
it's a thorough mentor.
Investment, in terms of buying land.
Yeah.
He tells me, don't buy land around Kampala.
Yeah.
Buy land up country.
Yeah.
You can invest, there better than in Kampala here.
Yeah.
And, he has introduced me to his family and all of that. So I don't take it for granted. He's an incredible person, down to earth.
Yeah, very down to earth.
I don't know whether you've interviewed him.
Not yet. You should organize.
When you're ready, just let me know.
I'm ready anytime you're ready.
We'll put that together and make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a blessing to me. Yeah.
Now, before we can mentor people into daring, I just want to know, what does a typical day look like for the sales warrior?
So I'm a member of the 5 a.m. club.
5 a.m. club, that's when you wake up.
Yes, Robin Sharma.
Yeah.
After reading that book, I like the idea that when you wake up early, you can achieve more.
Yeah.
So I wake up at 4:30, latest 5.
Yeah.
Unless
Daily.
those days when I'm really tired
maybe
and
sick.
I want to just stay in bed. But daily, the latest I wake up is 5. And I do my push-ups, not too many, 10. 10 push-ups, freshen up, read for 1 hour. Yeah, every day.
You're not reading in bed, are you?
No, I have
a table.
Yes, I have a very nice
desk.
I think I should. Well, the people who are listening, they can't see. But I bought recently. I bought a very nice chair.
Yeah.
For my reading.
Yeah. And you basically invested in a chair for the purpose of reading.
Yes. So I invested in this.
Nice.
So a nice table and I love just sitting in there and read.
Yeah.
So yes. So and then I have to come and take tea with my daughter before she goes to school. So some days I don't, but most days I have to take tea with her, or at least come and say good morning to everybody. And then I dress up and come to office. Yeah, 7:30 there.
Yeah.
I'm in office.
Yeah.
I do meditate now.
Okay.
I do 15 minutes
powerful.
meditation.
Very powerful.
Every day.
Yeah.
Unless I come to office late.
Okay.
But if I come here early,
fast order of business.
Yeah, there's a YouTube channel called Boho Beautiful. So BOHO. Somebody could check it out. Beautiful. They have incredible a meditation, flow music, all those things. So, and they do guided meditation. So it's something that I learned from my friend Sam. Sam is from the UK. He's a friend of mine. They came and they stayed with me for a bit. He's been here for like about 8 months. He just recently went back. So he taught me about meditation. So I meditate, and after that, the first order of the day usually is, if I have a big proposal to write, I want to do them in the morning.
Start with those.
Yes, I start with those, like either proposal or content that I have to develop for a training, because I don't like repeating contents a lot. I like ensuring
you don't copy and paste what you used for DFCU is the same you're going to use for housing finance.
No, I like to think through things, find out what the gaps they're facing, customize the content for them.
Stuff.
So I have to keep developing content.
And that means it's like a constant.
Yes, and I have to read. So that is my must do's. So I have Bonnie, I have Tracy in office, I have Penny, I have Ronnie. So these guys, Bonnie, Tracy, they're now aggressively into sales, because I scaled down my team during COVID. I had 13 people, now I have 5. So they bring in business, and they've become. I've made sure that these guys are good. And I've imparted part of me into them, making sure that they also learn as much as I do. If there's a nice sales book that I've read, I make sure that they read it, and you could see how their conversation have also improved over time.
So they have a sales warriors DNA.
Yes. And let me tell you, these days these guys, their conversion rate is ridiculous. Bonnie, who is just a 24-25-year-old guy, he's, for almost every 4 meetings he go for, he get a deal done. Every 4 meetings he goes for, he get a deal done. And if you see that conversion is reducing, probably it will go to 2 to 1. For every 2 meetings he get a deal done. So there I can focus more on my, what I call, wildly important goals. There are those wildly important goals to me. Writing those proposals, I have to do them. Building content, I have to do them. And then sometimes my team say, Daniel, can you go with us to negotiate this deal or talk to these people? They want to meet you. So I consider myself as that bullet that never misses the target. If you take me for a negotiation or for any conversation with the CEO,
it's
I'll
a
get
silver
it done.
bullet.
No, it's done. I'm not going to miss that target. The only thing that may stop us from doing it immediately is your budget. Not because I did a poor job. No.
I hear you.
So my days now is more like that. Do those high level meetings. I go for those. But mostly now we have a lot of trainings. We have a lot of corporate trainings going on. So I'm either training now. Tomorrow we're with Housing Finance. Next week we're with APSA. Another week we all these other different organizations. So it's a very good thing, and I like the fact that the marketplace is taking us seriously. Daniel Choudry is a brand in the sales space now. And I don't take that lightly, and I don't take it as a prestige. I take it as a calling that God has put upon my life, that I must excel and be exceptionally good at, and I make sure that I do that. So basically, that's how I run the day. Usually lunch hour, I like replenishing myself by listening to classical music. I love classical music so much. Be it Andrea Bocelli, Sarah Brightman, Al Zima, so that this Enya, Yanni, Alan Walker, Yo-Yo Ma. Now, I always give myself about 30 minutes to replenish. Put the headpiece on and replenish. Don't do anything else. Close my eyes. Listen to the music and let it just enrich my soul. And then when I wake up, open my eyes, I go again. I go again with whatsoever the critical activities, what I call the wildly important goal for the day. So every day I must have at least bare minimum 3 wildly important goals. If I've achieved those 3 wildly important goals, then my day is a success. I don't look at doing 5, 6, 7 now. I look at Yeah, 3.
I normally say sometimes it's good. Okay, not sometimes. All the times it's good.
Yeah.
Every single day you answer this question: what must I finish today?
Yeah.
And then you make sure that it's done and dusted.
Yeah.
You and I, when we started conversing, we talked about how important daring is.
Yeah.
So let's just wind up this conversation by giving some guys some pointers if you're to mentor someone.
Yeah.
To use, we have many excuses. I don't have money.
Yeah.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't have this.
Yeah.
Daring is the answer.
Yeah.
How will you package it if you're mentoring someone?
Wow, that's a good question. So first of all, Coach, I'm going to answer that question in 3 different portions.
Yeah.
The first portion is, before you come to be mentored on daring, you need to first work on your identity. Your identity is who you are, whether you work in that company you're working in or not, whether you're jobless or not, whether you your identity is what you sell into the marketplace. There are those soft skills that you must be intentional in acquiring by yourself. Things like having a good conversation with people. Things like, bravery, just being confident to speak up. Things like perseverance. Things like drive, self-drive, knowledge, acquiring knowledge, being a student of life that wants to always learn, ambition. I can't give you will.
Yeah.
I can inspire you.
Yeah.
I can't give you will.
Yeah.
I can't give you that. So work on your identity. I find a lot of us have shaken identity.
Yeah.
Like we're not coherent. We don't have rhythm with who we are in terms of the person you sell into the marketplace.
Yeah.
The version you, the Daniel Choudry that people have to buy.
Yeah.
Like we have this mentality which I consider the religious mentality.
Yeah.
Take me as I am. I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
Only God can judge me.
Yeah.
We judge all the time, Coach.
Yeah.
Help me to pass a good judgment on you.
Yeah.
So work on your identity.
By default, humans, they judge.
Yes. Even God himself is a judge.
Yeah.
He said, find a day who will be judged. And for me, a lot of us don't care about what perception people have of us. I think we should. No, I think we must. And build a brand, not so much in inclination of pleasing people, but build a brand that is likable.
Yeah.
Build a brand in terms of the human person that is conversational, is relatable, is attractive, at least to the greater percentage of the conversation you hold. I think that's important. So work on your identity. Identity is key. And still, in tandem with identity, there are 2 types of people.
Yeah.
There are those who are very superficial.
Yeah.
There are those who are very granular.
Yeah.
The superficial one, they love pleasure a lot.
Yeah,
they love entertainment a lot.
Yeah.
And when you look at these young people that probably are going to be listening to this program, you find that their pleasure is having an iPhone 13, spending a lot of time on social media. Instead of reading a nice book, somebody is on TikTok for 4 hours.
Watching reels.
Yeah, Instagram for so long, Facebook, WhatsApp, having all these WhatsApp groups that they don't even add value to you.
Yeah.
So first of all, stop being superficial. When they start watching television, they don't want to stop. They just binge on it. They go and buy all these series that would consume so much time. And then they've built into their belief system that I don't like reading. I would rather watch. For me, that's hypocrisy. Because listen, you've read your way to until probably university level. So that is, I mean, if you're listening to this show, then you've actually gone to school. So for me, that I always give people this one quotation, and this is by Daniel Choudry. Quote me.
Yeah.
Never admit to a weakness you can improve. Now, we like admitting. I don't like reading. Improve it. Just improve it. Don't admit to it. Improve it. I am not a runner, Daniel. Improve it. Daniel, I don't like talking to people. Improve it. Don't admit as a weakling, as a weakness, yet you have
an opportunity to
improve it, to work on it. So fight superficiality.
Okay.
You find that the superficial people, they're shallow. in that thought process. You have a conversation with them, but something is lacking.
Yeah.
You just don't know what it is, but something is lacking. Their confidence is totally, all over the place. So that's one thing. The granular people, they are thorough.
Yeah.
They invest in self-growth and development.
Yeah.
Now, before you seek outside mentorship, you've got to take yourself from superficiality to granularity to thoroughness, whereby you better your awareness about you. You learn as much as possible. Be religiously disciplined
Constant
to
learner.
learn. To learn. To really learn. Not just to open a few pages. When I started reading and all this desire of reading, at the beginning, I was telling Daniel Choudry, I'm like, Daniel, just read it cover to cover. Whether you've got a lot of things in it or not, it doesn't matter.
Just read.
Finish it. And that's why I came up with the theme. One of my themes is finish everything you start. I think I wrote it here. Yeah, finish everything you start.
This is your planner.
Yeah, that's my planner. So finish everything you start is from the concept of reading. I started from the reading. Of course, that's your copy. You studied it at some point.
Thank you very much.
So
I remember we talked about this
yes, we did.
years ago. Now it's a reality.
It's an awesome stuff.
Awesome.
So a lot of young people don't finish what they start. They start reading a book, they don't even get to the 4th chapter. They don't finish what they start. Then why did you get the book? So for me, that's the concern. So build thoroughness, build granularity, build depth about you, about your thought process, build depth about your relatability, build depth about your mind mapping, your vision for life, your life budget, the way I call it earlier.
Also.
Yes, mental agility, mental resilience and toughness. A lot of us, we have what I call a marshmallow mentality.
Yeah.
Like we have marshmallow mind. Like any, pressure put on it, we just kind of, we crumble. So build that. For me, be granular, be thorough. Thoroughness is a subject that each one of us can be able to achieve. Is a realm where now seeking mentorship becomes meaningful. Because some of these guys, because their identity is weak, they will get an opportunity with you, coach. They'll get an opportunity with me, but they won't get it because they have not yet built that meaning of why they should be able to actually do the things that the mentor or the coach would tell them to do. So that's the second thing. So identity, and then walk away from superficiality and become more granular. And then coming back to Robin Sharma, it talks about these 3 things that work on your attitude, work on your competence, and work on your execution. So to get results in everything in your life is an aggregation of having the right attitude, the right competence, and the right execution. Execution is effort. That those who perform great things in life, when you observe them, they have a formidable attitude. And under attitude, it talks about the 4 sets: the mindset, the heart set, the health set, and the soul set. Soul set is godliness. Health set is physical health. Like, don't fall sick in the first place. Like, just consume the right food. Heart set is don't be emotionally in turmoil all the time. If you're always being hit emotionally, a human being can only take too many losses and too many emotional pain. You get to a point where
it affects
the core of who you are. And then that means you start living very dismantled life. And then mindset is how your thought process. And if I'm reading 44 pages of a book every day, it's not like I want to compete with anybody.
No.
I just want to improve my thought process. I want to improve my coherence. And when I do that, it gives me this pleasantness in conversation. Probably some of you have listened to this show now for the last 2 hours because probably of the way we are flowing with caution. We have this kind of relationship that we build at a connection level. So for me, that's important. That have the right attitude, then work on your competence. What are you reading to improve your competence? Who are you talking to improve your competence? That a lot of us, we are faking it until we make it. That if you believe in the school of thought of faking until you make it, you'll always be a mediocre. You will never succeed in a gigantic way and create some, dent on the face of the earth. You have to build competence at what you do. Every day I call myself the sales warrior, but when it comes to actual sales, I do a good job. Why? Because I'm skilling every single time in that space. But then execute like a true champion.
Muhammad Ali said that if you can back it up,
yes,
it is not bragging.
It is not bragging. And why should we brag about only bad things all the time?
Yeah.
A lot of us, we brag about poverty, we brag about the high cost of living. Yeah. That's the bad bragging. Start bragging about the good things that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
So for me, coach, when it comes to execution, I have learned that, Daniel, don't think, just do it. You've already thought it in the first place. The fact that you're having it in your mind, that's already the thought. That's enough. Don't overthink it.
Do it.
Actualize it. Do it.
You might fail, you might succeed, but do it.
You want to go to Dubai? Do it.
Yeah.
You want to go to
Zimbabwe?
Do it. Now soon,
FedEx
FedEx is giving me a bigger project. Now, you want to put the biggest sales convention in Kampala, Serena, because Serena is a brand.
Yeah.
Do it. And for me, that's the phase. This year, I told myself I need to train in about 7 African countries. I've already been to 5, and we just mid-year. Yeah. Now I'm gonna do 12 now, because I have a training for Vision Fund end of this month in Tanzania. I have a training for Vision Fund in Rwanda. I have a training for Vision Fund in Ghana, and I have a training in Zambia.
Oh.
And then that's just Vision Fund. Then I have FedEx in Zim and South Africa and Lesotho.
Whoa.
Okay. Now that's already additional one. And I want to do Nigeria. I'm just going there to meet Chinonso and plan a sales convention in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because as an African, you must go to the Nigerian market. You have to test it.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Daniel, I perceive we might even need to create a product for dairy, and you can train it. It's there,
coach. That's a big topic you're saying. Daring, coach, you talk purpose.
Yeah.
And what you do, what you talk about, what you train about living a purposeful life. I don't know. My question always is, if I could just reverse this entire, show.
Yeah.
When should we start training our people on purpose? Is it when they are of age? Is it when they are our children's level, 7, 10, in the formative years? Because 90-something% of the population in the corporate world or in the working class, they're doing work that is not incongruent.
Round holes in square pegs in round.
Yes.
Purpose is a mighty, mighty subject, and don't even get me started. Let me tell you, the mentality starts with a parent, even before the kid is born. That when this kid is born, this kid is coming as a mystery, as an adventure for me to uncover. Yeah. And this kid is coming to make this world a better place. Therefore, this kid has been equipped and is unique in different ways. Like Choudry is different from Namale.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
The mentality of the parent starts from there.
Yes.
So when the kid is growing up, you as a parent, you're like, have you ever seen a dog that is so alert, scanning to see if there is any threat? You are becoming like that as a parent, to see what is this kid thriving at, and you expose them to many things. Is it music? The other day, my wife went with my kid for an MTN event for hip hop.
Yeah.
Before we know it, the guy was on the stage rapping.
Look at that.
You get? You expose the kid to as many things as possible. Instead of having this tunneled mind that says it's one way for everyone through academics. Academics are important, but they are not the only thing there. In fact, for me, I would reverse academics. I would rather I train my kids in their purpose, and they use academics to up that particular purpose.
I like that.
So
approach.
The earlier you start scanning the kid, the better. Don't wait until they are 15, 14, and so on and so forth.
I agree.
Before the guy is a teenager,
12, yes,
you have a hint of where this person is gifted and where the passion is. Start channeling, creating an environment for that as much as possible. I have put a computer in front of my kid. He does videos and all that stuff. He wants to be a scientist. I don't know.
But is it possible for this 24, 25-year-old starting their career in the corporate world or in any working level, is it possible for them to still dare using the theme for this conversation.
It is possible. It is
to seek purpose and live purpose.
It is actually possible. These are the people that I target a lot.
Yeah.
People who are coming out of the school system and they are entering into the work environment, or they are looking for work. It is good to start by being authentic.
Yeah.
And why? Because what you're going to follow, what you're going to do is long term. So the earlier you get started with it, the better. Guys discover their purpose even at 60. And let me tell you this statement.
Wow.
You'd rather do your purpose just for 1 year and die than spend the rest of your years doing things that are not purposeful to you.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to regret.
Wow.
And when you're regretting, you don't have time to change. You don't have time to... When you're not... regret... The only problem with purpose, my friend, is this. When we are regretting... You've told us about your 75 years.
Yeah.
Imagine you get to 75 years and then you start regretting. I wish I would have built the DC towers. I wish I would have built the sales sales institute. I wish I would have done this training and done these conventions. Like you said, the idea is there, do. So you'd rather clarify. And let me tell you, when you're clarifying your purpose, you're going to do it once and for all.
Yeah.
Like you. Have you ever gone back to try and find out who Choudry is in terms of what should Choudry do? In fact, let me prophesy, I don't think you're going to change what you're doing.
No.
A lot. Much. You're just going to tweak a bit and so on. I'm not going to find Daniel doing something like, let's say you a doctor in somewhere in a hospital.
No.
It can't happen.
No.
You're going to discover your purpose once and for all.
Yes.
What happens is owning it and then deploying it as time
own
goes
it and
by.
deploy it. Wow. I like that.
And that's what you're doing. I think you're owning by putting Daniel Choudry Sales Institute as your name, as a brand. That's ownership. You're owning it, and then you're deploying it even as we go.
Yeah.
Deploying comes with products. You've created the products.
Yeah.
Like now, this institution is a product. The conventions are
products.
The trainings are products, and so on. That's where the deployment comes in. Your purpose cannot do anything on the face of the earth until it has products. There have got to be products there.
Oh man!
Purpose is not an amorphous spiritual thing.
Yeah.
It is a transformational thing, and the point of transformation is products.
Yeah.
People interact with your purpose on the level of the products that you've created to transform their lives.
Totally.
So, my friend, we come to the close of this episode today. It's we can keep going on and on and on, and I know I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back for another chat, another conversation.
Thank you for this opportunity, Coach. I know you've hosted quite a number of people, and it's been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that today is my opportunity. My mama should be proud up there.
About mama, I don't want to go there, but we'll talk another time.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. If guys wanted to get in touch with the Sales Warrior, maybe they want to be mentored, they want... but I think, Choudry, we need to do this daring as a course or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's needed. Anyway, if people wanted to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
So let's start with the social handles.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to build my Twitter account back. I remember during the Trump election that I lost, I was a very passionate supporter of him.
They blocked you?
Yes. I had about 7,000 followers then. Then all of that went. Now I'm building it afresh. I think we are like at 300 now.
Whoa.
So follow me on Twitter. My handle is at Choudry Daniel. Choudry spells Choudry. Choudry Daniel. Daniel Daniel. So at Choudry Daniel. That's my Twitter handle. On Instagram, on Facebook, you find me Daniel Choudry the Sales Warrior. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. On LinkedIn, Daniel Choudry. On YouTube, Daniel Choudry. You find I'm starting to throw in good content on YouTube. So check them out. I'm sure you could learn a thing or two about sales.
Website?
And then website, www. I know we're not supposed to say that, but let me say it. I should just say dcsalesinstitute.co.ug. I repeat, dcsalesinstitute.co.ug. I have a personal website, danielchoudry.com.
Okay.
So you could check all of those. In case you want to reach at a mobile number level, you'll find it on the website.
Okay.
Whichever number that is on the website, you will get to me.
Okay.
Either you get to one of my staff, or you can get to me directly. So those are the places you can find me.
Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of today's episode. It's been wonderful, as you have heard. And I want to ask you one thing. If this has in any way touched you, impacted you, motivated you, inspired you, made you to stop and ask yourself questions, it means it can also help someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Please share with them, your mama, your uncle, your auntie,
your sisters,
brothers,
your friends, your alumni,
co-workers, everybody.
Yeah.
Let them know about
your
this
church.
information, your church, and so on. And also subscribe to this channel, whichever place you've listened to it. Maybe it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Castbox, whatever place it is. Subscribe so that you don't miss this inspirational content. It's from me to you saying bye-bye. We wish you all the success that you're willing to work for.
Be great. Nothing else pays.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.